Now let's look at the review and reclassification responsibilities of the LPAC. At the end of every school year, the LPAC committee must convene to review certain groups of students. At the end of the year, every English learner who participates in a bilingual or an ESL program has to be reviewed by the LPAC. There are some students whose parents have rejected bilingual or ESL program services. These are called parental denial students, and the LPAC must also review the progress of these English learners. Also under review are the students who have been recently reclassified as English proficient and are in their first or their second year of monitoring status. At the end of the year, the LPAC must come together and review the students' data that includes TELPAS results, the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System results, START results, and other academic achievement assessments. And also they review teacher classroom observations and documentations. The LPAC then makes a decision based on guidance that is provided as an English learner reclassification criteria, and determine if the student has achieved English proficiency, and it will then be reclassified as English proficient and exit a program with parental approval, or whether the student, based on the data and based on the reclassification criteria, will continue on to the next year as an English language learner. The LPAC framework includes a English learner reclassification criteria chart that serves as a guide to determine if a student has achieved English proficiency. Notice that this is the 2019-2020 reclassification criteria, because the 2020-2021 has not been published. We do expect that the 2021 reclassification criteria will include certain updates that may be related to the COVID situation. This is considered the standard criteria for reclassification, and notice that it does include 3 different components. Here we see the English language proficiency assessment is one of the criteria, and in this case at all grade levels. The TELPAS listening, speaking, reading, and writing is used as a measurement of English language proficiency. When it comes to the second component of the criteria, which is a state standardized reading assessment, we have the STAR program being used as an assessment starting in 3rd grade with the STAR reading test, and continuing on with the EOCs in English 1 and English 3 in the upper grades. In the grades where the STAR program is not available, the Iowa test, which is a TEA approved norm referenced reading and language test, is used to assess reading proficiency. The last component of the exit criteria is a subjective teacher evaluation, and a standardized form and a rubric is used to collect that subjective teacher evaluation. In order to ensure EL student success and academic progress, Alvin ISD starts reclassifying students when they begin participating in the STAR program in the 3rd grade. EL students with significant cognitive disabilities, as discussed earlier, who qualify for reclassification under the individualized criteria process, may be considered for reclassification starting in the 1st grade. So once the LPAC reclassifies a student as English proficient, the parents must be notified in writing that the student has met the state criteria for reclassification. Once the student is reclassified as English proficient, the LPAC must still monitor the student's progress for an additional 2 years after reclassification. So here we come to the end of the process as it was outlined earlier in the flow chart. I highly encourage you to save a copy of the flow chart and keep it handy, as it does summarize the entire identification and reclassification process, as well as the workings of the LPAC. In summary, we are reminded that LPAC members must engage in the following. LPAC members must know the laws concerning English learners. They must maintain confidentiality. Your campus administrator, your LPAC campus administrator, will ask you to sign a confidentiality oath before you attend the first LPAC meeting. LPAC members are to serve as advocates for English learners, and they must contribute to the LPAC meeting so that members can make the best decisions for each and every student.